Well, it's time for viewer mail, and this week we're going to use a question from a Dow Jones reporter.
Yeah, this Veronica from Dow Jones sent me a query, a press inquiry, and since I don't know if she's going to put it in her story or not, it doesn't really matter. I thought I'd answer it to you because I thought it was a really good question. And so actually there's 4 questions here you can ask me, and I think this will help you to find some work-life balance. So let's take a shot at it.
Okay, so here was her first question. She said, how do you define work-life balance?
Okay, so that's a really good question. So I look at money as stored work. I think all of you do. So when we think about a work-life balance, I think of a stored work, which is money, balance against life. And so working costs you the time and the energy to make your money. And then life, of course, is where you want to spend your time and energy to have a life. So I draw the little work-life diagram here. Work's on one side, life's on the other one. And of course, if you work more, that means your life, you can have more stuff, but your time and energy is going to be less because you're spending all the time making money than you are enjoying your time and your energy because you're spending it, making money. On the other hand, if you want more life, which is, more things in your life that you spend time with, in other words, more time with Brenda and more time with Buddy and more time in your life and having other enjoyable things in your life, well, then you don't have as much time for work and you're going to have less money. So when you find a balance is when the amount of money coming in and the amount of time and energy to create that equals the amount of time and energy you have left over that you can enjoy it. So there's no easy shortcut to here, but you should be trying to balance those two things.
Okay, and the second part of her question was, how do you try to maintain work-life balance?
Well, if the goal is, which most people is, for most people is less work, more life. Okay, so if that's really the key, then more life equals earning less money. So start by cutting your spending. If you cut your spending, you can have less effort and time working, which would give you more life. But if you equate life to more stuff,
and a lot of people do.
Well, that's not going to work out. An executive that's got a mini mansion and he's working to make that house payment and he wants
a boat
and well, that's not going to equal balance. It never is because you're spending so much. Your balance is always going to be off because you have to work for it. So if you want to live more, spend less.
And the third part is, what gets in the way of you having a work-life balance?
All that nice stuff. Although it's not just stuff, but it's also cool things you do. If you want to go play golf at Pebble Beach, which I absolutely love to do, you love to do too. If we wanted to play there every day, we'd have to take a lot of our time and spend it working and trying to make more money so we could afford that. Well, that's not really a very balanced life, at least it wouldn't be for us, but other people would. So when you think about getting in the way, the first thing that gets in the way is I got to have more stuff. I got to have a bigger life, a more expensive life, and so that requires more work. The other thing that gets away, and I think you'll agree with this, is debt.
Oh, yes.
Oh, see, everybody that says that, debt problems really get in the way of having a work-life balance because you've essentially said, in the future I'm going to pay you back, which means your future work life, you don't get to spend that money, which means it's all work, no play. And when that happens,
the people that bought the big homes,
that's right, they got to pay for them, and they're in debt. Now, we've seen that in Greece, Ireland, Portugal, headed towards Spain, austerity. We've borrowed money, we need to pay it back. Now you got to work and give the money to the government. Right?
And their life isn't balanced.
And they're unhappy about it. So debt can definitely get in the way.
And last of all, she said, when you feel more balanced, what's the benefit?
Good question. So I think the benefit...
Serenity.
Serenity now? No. It's better decision making. So if you think about it in this way, in turbulent times, you're going to feel stress. You're going to have to push. You're going to stay on that treadmill and make things happen. You're feeling pressured for bills, and you've got all these things in your life, and you're just not going to make the same decisions you will if you've got balance and you've got some sort of happiness in your life that leads to better decision making. So finding that balance can lead you to taking a position of power, a position of control in your decision making, and I think that's one of the biggest benefits to having a more balanced life is that you make better decisions.
Oh, those were really good questions.
Yeah, I thought that was good.
Like that.
Yeah, I wonder why she's a reporter. Yeah.
And what's your takeaway from all this?
My takeaway is finding work-life balance starts with cash flow. Because if you didn't need the money, you wouldn't be struggling with work-life balance.